Okay, so we did not see this one coming.
Yes, we're halfway through 2025, and let's just say our original plans, it kind of changed a little bit.
Yes, so some exciting things came up that is going to affect a lot of areas, including our life, the kids, and our business. We are going to get into explaining all of that, but we thought it would be fun to do our Q&A that is based around the topic of our mid-year check-in for our goals. So now that it's June, it's halfway through the year, and it's a great time to revisit.
Yeah, I literally cannot believe it's halfway through 2025. But if you're deep in wedding season, or maybe you're going through changes yourself, hopefully this talk kind of gives you some clarity and some kind of understanding of sort of like what we're going through, and maybe you can relate it to your life. And we'll dive in right now. Wedding business workflow. What's been the biggest game changer in our editing workflow in 2025?
I would have to say our Asana workflow that basically spells out everything that we have to do post-wedding in terms of like delivery and editing and who does what. It's basically everything that we have done in past like years and weddings, but now it's literally just like spelled out, it's assigned, it's a to-do list that you literally can reference, and we don't have to question, who's doing what, was it done, because we're like, it's all listed out.
Yeah, I will say like every day, like I'll go on Asana and just check like what's due, like what do I have to do today, and like it's like if you watched our other Q&A, like like for me, lists are everything. So I wake up ready to go, knowing what I need to do, and it's crazy. We're 10 years into this, and we really hadn't implemented it until recently. So I think that's definitely a game changer. So what part of the post-production process has tightened up? Or automated. So I think post-production process, I would say the NAS is something newer that we added, and we sort of like as soon as we finish a wedding, we come home and we know what our backup process is. And it's such a peace of mind thing too. And it's been one of those things where it's always been in the back of our minds, and to have it implemented in 2025, it's a sigh of relief that we have something that we can rely on for just in case things happen.
Yeah, so it's a backup, but then I feel like it's also an ease of access to access like weddings and files without going through hard drives and searching on Dropbox and all of that stuff. Like it's a local. It's so easy to access.
I'd say if you shoot 20 to 30 weddings a year, like a NAS solution is huge, and it's such a big convenience thing. And what I'll do is I'll actually link the one that we purchased below in the description. But marketing and lead generation. So what's working best for attracting new couples right now for us?
Okay, well, I have a fun answer of something I'm actually working on right now that relates to this. But before I get into that, I just want to ask you, you take care of a lot of the wedding inquiries and stuff that come in. Where do you see most of our inquiries? Like, where are they coming from right now?
I'm actually seeing a surge in inquiries from Instagram. I think we have a nice following there, and also just word of mouth, whether that's planners, photographers, florists even.
Yeah, so I think, overall the wedding industry, a lot of wedding photographers, a lot of wedding videographers have seen a slowdown in either inquiries or bookings. And one thing, I feel like maybe a little bit, slower for us too, even though it's like kind of picking back up now that wedding season is back in swing and all of that kind of stuff. But one thing that we are working on doing is actually incorporating Pinterest into our workflow to help market for brides.
Where did the Pinterest thing come from?
So the Pinterest thing came from, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts and stuff, and I've always been a follower of Jenna Kutcher. And I've been listening to a few of her podcasts recently, and she is literally the Pinterest queen. Like she's been talking about it for years. Like it's literally nothing new, but she still feels so strongly about the marketing power of Pinterest. And if you think about it, for our industry and what we do, brides are looking on Pinterest for wedding stuff. Like they're looking for their, inspiration for their wedding, florals, dress, like literally everything on there.
I'd definitely say one thing I didn't even realize is they offer video on Pinterest. I'm like a Pinterest noob. I don't really use it as much, but to know that there's video and for someone who's been a videographer for this many years, not knowing that video is on Pinterest, I think that's a big opportunity.
Yeah. So basically what I'm planning on doing is doing like a 1 month where we post on Pinterest. I want to see, you know, I know Pinterest is more of a long-term game in terms of like you post now and you might actually not reap the benefits until 6, 8 months, year later, but it's going to continually work for you because that was Jenna Kutcher's biggest thing is that when you spend all of this time, like, you know, a half hour on doing like an Instagram or a TikTok post, it is gone. Like it's old by like 24, 48 hours later. Like that is it. Pinterest, it actually lives on like for a very long time. So it keeps working for you and it doesn't get old. And so that's where I was like, wait a minute, like almost anything you post on Instagram, like reel-wise or anything, like should actually be going on Pinterest. So we're going to be working on that. And I am definitely going to do a video about that, about our experience with it, what we saw, how it worked for us. And we're really excited to see where that goes.
Yes, so be on the lookout for that. So we'll get into the next topic here, which is YouTube and content creation. What's our current YouTube posting rhythm and how are you fitting into it?
So we're trying to up our game a little bit in the YouTube like world. I feel like we're trying to do 3 days a week, which I feel like it's kind of a big like ask for everything else that we have going on, but we're going to try our best to keep up with it. So we are just doing a rhythm of like trying to do these Q&As like once a week where, you know, you get to know us a little bit more about like the insides of our business. And then we're doing some behind the scenes content and then informational videos. Yeah,
I'd say like the whole YouTube stuff for us, it's like, it's really about, and going back to the whole Pinterest thing, it's sort of the long game, you know? So our whole goal is to post content that's educational, you know, stuff that you can watch a couple years from now and be like, this information is still valuable. And at the end of the day, it's like, we generally like doing this kind of stuff and we like teaching, and education is something that like over the years, like we've kind of grew a passion for. So we like training, we like helping. But the next question is like what types of videos have gotten the best response so far? And again, it goes back to the education side of editing. A lot of people, you know, find that editing is one of the hardest things to do in video business. So with my experience with editing, I'm trying to like simplify it because it's overwhelming. So definitely be on the lookout for more of those type of content.
And I feel like our behind the scenes aren't doing terrible. I mean, they're not our highest like viewed videos, but I will say we're trying to do a little bit more behind the scenes at weddings. You know, we almost like 90% of the time bring an assistant now with us or a third shooter. And instead of them just always getting a third shot, why not have them juggle and get some behind the scenes content of you shooting, explain some moments during the day. And so our goal now is to hopefully get behind the scenes footage at every wedding we can, you know what I mean? Sometimes it gets a little difficult, but we've done it at like 3 weddings so far. And like, it's been so great. I know how much we loved watching those behind the scenes videos when we were starting out, because you're just so curious, like, how do other people work? What do they do in these situations? Like, how do they shoot? Like, we would watch them all the time. And so my hope is that they are very valuable to people who are just starting out or people who just like don't get to work with other like videographers and see what they do. It's just such great like knowledge to gain. So,
and if there's stuff on a wedding day you guys want to see, like definitely shoot in the comments below. But all right, moving on. So strategy and business growth. Okay. All right, moving on. So strategy and business growth. Are you hitting your revenue goals for this year?
I'll leave that to you.
I think we are, and that's thanks to a couple different things. I think we have implemented our editing service with Noble Post, so we've kind of got that lifted off the ground, and we have a couple clients there. We have an associate team now, which we're thrilled about. Melissa does amazing work. And then also this is kind of like the big thing. I just booked a 3-month job with NBC. So this is a full-time position, and as being an editor, you know, we'll have months at a time where I'll have the work, and then I might not have something for months at a time. So it's sort of like just hit this past last week. I think a friend of mine called me and said they have this job opportunity. So
it's for editing.
It's for editing, yes.
Yeah.
So that's a project it's a confidential project right now, but I'll, maybe we'll post some stuff about that later on.
Yeah, it's something super exciting. Of course, everything always happens at once, right? It's like wedding season gets busy, like kids are done with school in a couple of weeks, it's summer, and then just like a bunch of work. But,
I
it's all
didn't
good.
even get into the realtor stuff, but we'll talk about that in another video. All right, so moving on. Is there any big pivots or new offers planned for the second half of the year?
I think just continuing to do everything that we're doing. I feel like a lot of the Noble post edits that we have, a lot of that will be towards the second half of the year because everyone is just starting to shoot weddings. So we're not going to have those weddings come in until, a month or two, especially like fall. So that is definitely going to be a big focus of our like second half, I feel like. I hope that our like YouTube journey still kind of like
Keeps
picks
growing.
up and keeps growing. So I feel like that will definitely be a continued focus.
And honestly, it's another avenue too. Like I feel like, when you're in the industry and you're booking weddings and maybe you have a slow period, maybe we could post content about other ventures, the stuff that we have came up with or implemented, which is the associate and editing.
Multiple things.
Multiple things. So definitely multiple streams. Diversifying is definitely a big topic. So if you guys are interested about learning any of that, again, in the comments below. And then, so what's one experiment that we tried this year that's actually working?
I feel like that actually goes back to our editing, Noble Post, our editing service. So it was kind of an experiment. It wasn't something that we necessarily started out. It wasn't something that was in our goals that we had for like this year was to start this business. It was something that came up. We reached out to a few people and the response we got back was literally 100%. I feel like we reached out to like 3 people and 3 people were immediately on board.
So that's a clear sign for a business idea when you're asking other colleagues or people in the industry of like they're interested in something and they say yes immediately. That's a good idea right there. So you kind of have to hop on that. So it was sort of like once we got the couple yeses, we're like, okay, let's go for it. So
we got a couple edits out and they were all thrilled with the videos. And so we're just like, I think we may have something here. And I recently, a friend was talking to some other people as well, and she mentioned like our Noble Post editing, and it's to people like not in the wedding industry, and they're like, oh, I wasn't happy with my wedding videographer who shot my wedding like 10 years ago, or I have these clips and I don't have anyone to edit. And I'm like, it's kind of, this could become something more than just editing for other people in the business. It could be like helping out brides or photographers or anyone else who has editing they need done, because not everyone knows how to edit. And so I'm like, there could be some like good potential with this. So I'm excited.
Yes, definitely stay tuned for that. And our final topic is life, family, and work balance. So what is your current working hours with the kids with the summer schedule?
Yeah, so that's something we're like literally in the midst of figuring out. Justin just got the news about this new job opportunity literally just a few days ago. And so we've been on top of just trying to figure out our new workflow, because I feel like we had a good flow in place. And so we're trying to like make sure that stays, but obviously things are going to be changing a bit. And so one of the things we're going to be implementing is a little bit of childcare. So having a sitter come for just a few hours, 1 or 2 days a week, to hopefully just help with the kids, help play with them at the house. Justin and I could still potentially be around working in the basement or at a local coffee shop. So it's not like we're far away or anything like that. But I think just having those few hours of like focus time, at least for me, like just a little bit, is gonna help so much. And then this way I'm not feeling overwhelmed. I can come back refreshed knowing I got work done, and I can just like pour all of my like energy into the kids and not like, because I always find that when I have too much on my plate, like work-wise, I'm getting more frustrated with the kids, because it's like, I just want to go do the stuff that's like in my head and I like need to get done, and you're not listening to me, and why can't you just go play? And it's like all of this stuff, and it's like if I can get that done, then I can like I can pour into their cups. And I think that it will just be helpful for all of us.
And you guys know, if you guys have kids younger than 5, you understand that struggle. And we've got 3 of them, so we're definitely on that train right now. So last question, how do we divide work during the week? And that's one of the things that we sort of implemented from our January meeting, when we said, like, listen, we need to have coffee shop days, and we need to sort of be out of the house to get any type of work done. And it's been since January, and I think it's really been working for us.
Yeah, so we really just split up the days. I mean, it's literally things as simple as like, I'm the one that wakes up early with the kids, and then as soon as, feed them, kind of like get them started for the day. And then once Justin is up and, hanging out with them, they want to play. I can then sneak away for like literally an hour to either like get ready or get like my workout in or get a shower. And it's like, it's kind of this like, little like switch, like high five. Okay. Like now your turn, like kind of thing.
Yeah,
but it really is like that balance of like tag teaming
Yes.
in order to get anything done. And then there obviously are times when we are all together as a family as well. But I feel like when you're juggling work from home and not a ton of childcare, that's what we have to do. And I feel like it's working really well.
Definitely. And when you're an entrepreneur, like Steph said, working from home, you really have to have time management skills and you have to have priorities, because if you don't, things get messy, and that would definitely be me. So thankfully I have someone to kind of give me a list. Okay, so that was our Q&A for today. We really hope you guys enjoyed that. We like putting these together. And if you have any additional questions, or if you're, like I said, if you're going through a change right now, let us know in the comments and we'll try to like help you guys out.
That's good. See you in the next one.
See you on the next one.